Today is Tuesday, December 3, and you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my daily review. Today it was an exciting day for me today. I thought a lot of the stocks did well and are performing well, so I'm happy about that. It's always nice to, pick the, leading stocks in the market, but that doesn't happen every day because of the rotation in the market. But they rotated towards our stocks today. And you can see the Nasdaq there was up 77 points or 0.4% on 5% below the 50-day average volume. It is 4.7% above the 50, which is okay. 2.5% above the 21. It's just right in the middle of the fairway, doing fantastic. If I go to the weekly chart and draw you some lines here, you can see that this rally is just, right in the fairway here. It's not bumping up against the high of the channel or, driving through the lows. It's just right in the middle of the fairway where I like to be. And the Nasdaq is now becoming the leading index here, which is fantastic because this is the type of stocks that we like to trade, the growth stocks. Anyway, I want to go to a 5-minute chart. It did close at a new high today, 19,480. And I just want to show you in a 5-minute chart. This is classic textbook, bull market action where it sold off at the open, about 60 points. It was down, then rallied back, then came back, rallied up to 438, then came down to 465. So about an 80-point move there, then rallied back up. And then it looked like it was just going to be like flat on the session, up, down, teeter-totter around even point. But then the last, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, it just started ramping. And into the close, we had a strong close, and that's what we look for in bull markets. These strong close. The institutions are tipping their hand. They're buying at the close. Those tricksters, they're selling, taking some profits at the open, then buying into the close of stocks that they like. Some of them they just bought all day. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to go to the S&P 500. Another one, has a lot of the same components that drives the Nasdaqs, the Apples, the Amazons, Microsoft, Meta, and so forth. The S&P 500, not quite the wild ride that the Nasdaq had today. Kind of, you can see there, it just looks like a little blip on the radar. And the daily range was 652 to 33, so 19-point range on this session. Let's take a look at a 5-minute chart. And there you can see the sell-off at the open and kind of strong into the close. S&P saw a little more selling there. Like I said, the Nasdaq is now the place to be, thank goodness. And the Dow Jones gave back just a little bit, did not challenge that 45,000 today. And then the Russell 2000 or the IWM, I can go to the IWM, just pulling back here. That's the 10. I have the 10 there today because I want to show you a couple of things. And there's the exchange traded fund. Pull back almost to its 10 there of 238. The lowest 239. So just a tick above it. All right. I'm going to get to some of the leading stocks. Yesterday I talked about Meta breaking above that downtrend line, within the base. So I thought that was a buy, and it certainly turned out to be right. This little downtrend line that it broke above yesterday and then followed through today nicely, and it closed it near its highs or at its highs, right, on the session. So that's what you want to see, big blue volume bars. So that's the institutions tipping their hand, right, buying right into the close. So that's what we want to see. And a leading stock, the standard buy point there is about 603. Now, it might still have trouble with 600, like it did at 500. It teeter-tottered around 500 for a while. There you can see 531 to 414, kept going back and forth, and now it's dealing with 600. So it wouldn't surprise me to pull back to that 600 or the buy point there at 603. In fact, half of the stocks that break out come back to their pivot points. Apple is looking really nice. AAPL, Marty, if you can do it right. Just breaking out from that base there, and that looks fantastic. It's a clean break for Apple. If you're in that one, congrats. It just keeps going up every day. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. See the action here. Yeah, just ramping all day. That looks fantastic. I mean, if you own Apple, congrats. I do not. because it's just a little slow for me. I think in this market, the smaller stocks are going to do a little better. But the big stocks are going to drive the indexes. Amazon, nice day today. I pointed out on mcstockcharts.com about the Adobe data points from Cyber Monday. Big Black Friday, big weekend of shopping. Consumers are strong, and they're buying stuff, and they're buying electronics, they're buying PCs, they're buying beauty and healthcare stuff, just a whole bunch of stuff, apparel. So the consumer looks strong. They're going to the movies too. So Amazon selling just about everything under the sun and doing well. Microsoft, another one that was, consolidating within a base, and you could say this one is starting to, it wants to trade above that 3-point down trend line. So I'm looking for that thing to pop one day. Wasn't today, but it could be, tomorrow or, later this week or next week. But I'm looking at Microsoft, and I think good things are happening. Google, yeah, it's still consolidating here. Still got the headache with the, the government. So that's the way it goes. Tesla, I told you I sold my Tesla shares. It's just too political. I don't like dealing with that stuff. Very rarely works out well for me. I always end up on the wrong side. So I learned my lesson over time. Had a nice move, since the election. Big, I don't know. That's a big move right there. So let's take the money and run and go elsewhere. Like I say, these large cap stocks are likely to do well. They're likely to drive the indexes, but they're not going to double and triple like you're going to see with some of the newer merchandise and some of the younger stocks. So that's where I'm gravitating towards. And NVIDIA, this is one that, I like a lot, but, I'd rather own Astera Labs because, I think it has a much easier chance of doubling than, NVIDIA going to 7 trillion. So that's just my thought process. I could be wrong. I should be parked in this magnificent 7, but oh well, that's just my style. And I want to take a swing at some of those newer merchandise, the smaller stocks have the ability to move. All right, I mentioned retail, and Amazon had a fantastic day. But Walmart, man, this is one of our leading stocks. And this thing just keeps going. This thing's acting like a software name or something, or a semiconductor. This is going ballistic. That is the 10 today, not the 5. But you can still see it's 3.3% above the 10. Just in the power trend. I mean, people say, "Oh man, Walmart's really doing well. If you want to buy it, just wait till it comes back to the 10." Now, it might be higher prices because that thing's, got a rapid ascent, but looks pretty darn good. Some of the other names in the retail space, Deckers, broke out of this cup with handle base here. It looks fine, and that actually looks really nice. Urban Outfitters reported last week, gapped higher, continued higher, and then this is my 3-day rule. When you get a gap and it goes up 3 days, probably time to trim some. I mean, it did nothing wrong today. It made a new high, 51.49, which is 11 cents above yesterday, and then pull back ever so slightly, but still it looks really good. But usually 3 days, even the shorts, stop covering, and 3 days is a pretty good run when you spike like that. I mean, that was an 18% move. So Urban looks fantastic. Tapestry doing well since the government's going to leave them alone. They're no longer pursuing Capri. So this one made a new high today at 65.30. CROX, this is another one that I like. I like it a lot. Why? Well, because it's got this gap to fill here at 135.35. There you go. And is up another 1% today. But this to me just looks like a bottoming pattern here. Just like a stage 1 base here. Made that low of 95. You got it below 100. You're up 10% on this, 11%. I just think, going into the spring, they're going to have, the inventory on Hey Dudes is going to improve, and the retailers are going to want Hey Dudes in their stores. So they'll probably paint a better picture at their next earnings report as they head into spring. That's the way, the retail works anyway. Skechers, nice pop. This is, up on volume. It was yesterday. This is why I pay attention to these up on volume moves. It was up on volume yesterday, which was Monday, and it drove through all of its moving averages. You can see the RS line, forget the ratings 39. The RS line is blasting through these moving averages here. with increasing volume. So Skechers looks good to me. That's 69, 69, 69 hike. Yeah, that looks good to me right there. Skechers looks good. And you know, these Black Fridays, we go into Christmas season, I see the market doing well, and I see these retailers doing well. You might say, you know, if you were just looking at this, you know, downtrend line here, that it popped above it on Monday, and yeah, followed through today. Nice 5% move. All right. And then how are they buying this stuff? How are all these consumers affording it? It's buy now, pay later with a firm, which is, you know, one of the leaders in the buy now, pay later space. And also, I got to point out Upstart. Yesterday got a downgrade. It pulled back to its 21. Today got an upgrade. This is just Wall Street shenanigans. You know, one company drives it down, the next firm the next day drives it up 8%. So, you know, I know a guy got shaken out yesterday. He didn't buy it back today, lost out on an 8% move and pretty upset about it. But that's the way Wall Street works, you know. The old saying is, you know, why do you rob bank? Well, that's where the money is. And that's what these guys do too. And they're out to make money just like you and me. So they're sharks in the waters out there. And they just play these little games. And so if you got shaken out, you can always buy it back. We're flexible, we're agile, we're mobile. We can buy and sell with a click of a button. So don't give up on something just because you know it trades down to the 21. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I've got to get to the software group because this is you know, where the action is. You could see app 11 just 372.57. I talked about, you know, my buddy who just thinks this thing topped about 280 here when it did this move. You know, it blasted higher on earnings, went up to what, 292, and then he just said this is it right here, you know, the shelf. All it really did is pull back to its 5, ripped higher, and then it pulled back to its 10 last week, so that was a gift. And then Friday was up a little bit, yesterday up a little bit, and today up a lot. So yeah, the bump on Friday was 2.5%. Yesterday, a nice little move, 1.25% today, almost 8% move. And I guess I could, you know, if you'll indulge me here, I'm going to switch it back over to the 5 because the leading stocks are only coming back to the 5s. Some of them are pulling back to the 10s, but you know, there's your 5. That thing is definitely surfing the 5. So you say, I want to buy it. Marty, I want to buy it. What do you know, when can you buy it? Well, I would wait till it does something like that, you know, or that. It's going to pull back to that green line, and it's extended from it now, but it will pull back to it. Believe me, I know it'll probably be higher. It'll probably be a lot higher, but it's 6.6% above the 5, and it's rising every day, you know, like rapidly. You can see the 5 was 328 on Friday, then 332, then 343. So with moves like that, the 5's going to move quickly. So if it pulls back, that's when you can maybe take a swing at that thing. It's just one of the strongest stocks in the market. And I talked about, I didn't think it had topped because of the length of time from the base, you know, the breakout from the base. And I looked at our leading stock list, and we had put this on in August. It was about $88 or something. And this is what happens in a bull market. I had no idea it was going to 366. I just knew it was a leading stock with nice growth numbers. It was acting well, and this thing has just taken off. You know, it's surprising everyone. But my point is, it broke out, you know, in this week here, and it only been up like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now it's getting to be like 15 weeks. Last week was a short week. Now this week. So I wanted to have this one instead of Palantir because Palantir is about 3 or 4 weeks ahead of it in terms of the breakout and the rally. So there's nothing wrong with Palantir. If you own Palantir, it's fine. I just think that App 11's a little stronger and has a little more time to go. And you can see the same, you know, type of pattern here though on Palantir, where it pulls back, you know, broke out, then pulled back the moving average, and it ripped up and pulled back the moving average. And even though it ripped up here, it hasn't pulled back yet. Maybe on the daily, right? Maybe on the daily, yeah, okay. It's just surfing. So you wait for something like that where it stalls for a little bit. It doesn't crash and burn. It doesn't come down to the 21. It just kind of stalls at the 5, kind of squats, and then rips higher. Now, today it's up, you know, a nice move. So you don't want to be chasing stuff like this. And if you want to get in, you got to watch them closely and be quick and buy them when they pull back to their MAs. That's my story between Palantir and App, and that's why I own App and not Palantir. And it's, if you own Palantir and not App, that's fine too. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not, I'm a fan of a fanboy of either one of them. Just here to make money in stocks. All right, Duolingo, another one of the software names. I looked at my leading stock list today. I didn't have it on. That was a mistake. It's going on this weekend. So is Spotify. And these two are just surfing their moving averages. Like I say, if you just waited, right? If this thing broke out, ran hard, right? And if you didn't own it, you wanted in, well, it did pull back here. It stalled here for a week or two, back to the 21, then ripped higher. This is probably the election time too. But now popped off the 5 today, nice 4% move. I did mention Spotify, same kind of profile where it gapped up after earnings and it kind of squatted for a couple of days. And these are the David Ryan ants where it's up in volume a lot of days. You could see the big volume move here. That the up day after day after day, and the volume is just coming in. And so he uses that as just like a strength indicator, not necessarily a buy indicator, just the stock's showing a lot of strength. Anyway, where am I going now? Oh, Datadog, another one that, I really like Datadog. It's acting. This is what I'm talking about. Blasted higher out of earning. You didn't want to chase it. Okay, fine. You let it come back to the 5. You pull back to the 5, found support, and now is moving out of there. And I would suspect that it would take out, this high of this day, 157.48. I believe that's the high. And today the high was, it's getting there, right? It's taking it that 157.48, 156.68. So it was within a buck. So I would expect, Datadog to make new highs and bounce off that 5. And these trend lines or moving averages are just trending higher. And these are just super strong stocks. Okay, I'm going to get out of the software. Not really. I'm going to go to the fintech stocks, the financial software names, and these things are popping too. This is Q2 Holdings. We had it on our ready list, a while back before the election. It was consolidating in this base and it just broke out. You can see this move here from 69 to 82, and it just has not looked back. This is a super strong stock. Kelly Slater on the 5, it's hanging 5, popped. I believe that's an earnings pop, and then pull back. So that's another one of those bull wedge patterns that we're seeing like work over and over and over again. And then today, or yesterday, I should say, it found support and bounced off the 5. Found support Friday at the 5, bounced yesterday 2%, and today 2.5%. So very nice move. These stocks are really strong. These I call them fintech stocks, or computer software, financial. This is Vertex. You can see the David Ryan ants again because of the, it's going up all the time with these big blue volume bars. Today popped off the 5. Strong stocks are just coming to the 5 and popping off them and just sticking out like a sore thumb. 4, this is shift 4 payments. Pull back to the 5. Popped a little today, but I think we'll see a bigger move here. And let's see if it can take out that 116.84 here soon. So anyway, that's the software. I went through the retail, the software, the Mag 7, the financial software names. And now I got to go to more software. The cybersecurity group, Zscaler, I thought their earnings were fine. Accelerating earnings growth here, 38, 40, nothing wrong with 40% earnings growth. The CFO, I guess, resigns, and I don't know. To me, this is just I saw it trading around 190 in pre-market. I thought that's got to be a gift. It never did trade that low during the session, I don't think. 194 was the low, but to me, that's kind of a gift. It's kind of nice, if you bought that thing, here at 194, 195, and it closes at, what was it, 196 or 198? You're up $4 on a day where the stock was down 4 or 5%, down $10, and you're up. So that would be a nice buy. I just got to see if it can trade above the 21 there. It closed right at it today, 1.6% below it. So it's got that type of resistance there. But Zscaler looks good. CrowdStrike, they're not going to report till March. They reported recently, sold off down to the 21, had an inside day today. That one looks fine. Palo Alto Networks, Pull back to the 21. That one looks fine. Rubric is going to report the 5th. So that's Thursday, right? So this is kind of a newer issue. And this is what I'm talking about here. You know, it's got this IPO base and then it broke out of it. And now it's trying to run. It's only got a market cap of 9 billion. So we'll see what they have to say on Thursday. I bet those are the young new merchandise that I'm looking at, that type of name. All right. I've got to get to my I put this one on our ready list today. Astera Labs, they have a conference in Phoenix tomorrow morning. I don't know if they're going to raise guidance or talk about new products. Probably not. These are perfunctory events that the CEO must attend. I doubt if they say anything, but you can see the classic, these wedge patterns right here. It did it here also before the breakout. Did it here before another breakout. It did it here before another breakout. And then it just did it last week where it pulled back to its 5 and today popped nearly 13%. So some of you at MC Stock Charts jumped on that one. A nice move. And this, when you grab a 12% move in a day, I mean, that kind of makes your week. You don't need to overtrade, one trade like that a couple times a week. And, those are knockout blows. So ALAB, I think it went higher partially due to the earnings report from CRDO, which had a nice 48% pop. This got this accelerated earnings growth, nice 64% sales growth. And that's a nice earnings reaction from CRDO. So I think another one that's benefiting is AAOI. This is the artificial intelligence connectivity thing. And you can see it's just, same thing. These bull wedge patterns back to moving averages. This one's back to the 5. This one popped Friday, pulled back a little yesterday, and now another move today. So those three look fantastic. All right, I got to go to the internet content stocks. This is Reddit. Had a little bit of sales. Condé Nast and Tencent have been selling some of their shares. I think Condé Nast sold all, but Tencent still holds like 7 million shares in this. And they're going to be selling from time to time, but all it did was pull back to its 5, popped nearly 6% today. It was up over 150. But I think if you're looking, I don't know, 158.49 is definitely a target here. It was at 141 today. So let's see if it can take out that 158.49 and make new highs. Maybe not this week, but next week during this current rally. I'm pretty sure it can do that. All right. Another one came to my attention. Somebody brought it to my attention today. I think it might have been on Twitter, might have been on YouTube. I don't know, but this is NBIS, and this is I was up 14% today. Nice move. We'll take a look at the weekly here. You can see, I don't know if this is a spec. I got to do some more research on this one, but somebody asked me to look at this, and it looks really good, obviously. And it's got the sales and earnings growth that we look for. Well, not really the earnings. Let's take a look at this here. Yeah, $1.64 cash flow. So, young company. I'll have to do more research, but definitely a nice move there on that one. And the last one, I believe, oh no, I have two more. One that I like, one that I don't like. I like this one. OPRA, it's an ADR, Norway based. You can see the double bottom pattern just broke out a few weeks back and moving higher. It's a $20 stock. That looks pretty good as it's surfing its 5 EMA, and the other one is Snap, which I'm not a real fan of, but I just know acknowledging the it's up with volume here. So 1293 breaking out of like this stage 1 base, I would have to call that. Yeah, this base here. So keeping your eye on Snap in that space. All right. I think every day I mention the boomers and how they're booking travel all over the world. They're booking trips, they're booking flights, they're booking cruises, and they're using Booking. Booking made another new all-time high today. Make My Trip. This is India-based online travel services making new highs. We had this on our ready list a while back, and it sold off, undercut the 50, undercut and rally. That's why you don't give up on them. I mean, I didn't buy it, but it definitely broke out above that buy area there. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, EXP. Got to mention Expedia. Yeah, just surfing. It's 5. And what's another one in this area? Oh, CCL. I think they upgraded some of their data today. Their bookings are up. Just had an inside day today, but those cruise lines and airlines, this whole group, is doing well. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I want to eat my cake. I want to have my cake and eat it too. As the saying goes, this Cheesecake Factory. This is the retail restaurant group. Obviously, that 5075 is a point of interest if you're one of these, Darvis box traders. This one's definitely in the box. What's in the box? Well, right now, Cheesecake Factory is, but it could definitely pop out of the box here. I like it above, maybe 51, get it a quarter above the 5075 there. Looking at that one, Brinker, I think I talk about Brinker every day. It's just a beast. Oh, it actually pulled back 2 days, back to its 5. A miracle has happened. CAVA, another strong one, just surfing the moving averages here, grinding higher, doing nothing wrong. And my favorite one that I own is Bros. Pulled back to its 5 today, having a nice little iced coffee, putting its feet up, chilling out, down 11 cents. That's a nothing burger there. Just heading in the right direction. This is another one of these younger companies. It's taking market share from a larger competitor. And I think that's the way to go in this well, I shouldn't call it a new, this current uptrend. Okay. I think they're going to deliver quarter after quarter, year after year of just growth. I think Bros is really well liked by the younger generation. I see it because I drive by there every darn day. All right, I got to get to the drugs. I need a new drug. One is Novocure, which had news yesterday, popped nicely, and then followed through today. So maybe this will have like a 3-day little sprint and then take a rest. This one was up. Come on, Marty. Don't be a retard. I shouldn't say that. Don't be mentally challenged. Okay, it was up 49% yesterday. Followed it up with a 2% move today, but made a new high. So that one looks good. PT, CT. This one had news yesterday, made a new high today, and then pulled back. And then Hims and Hers. Just, this is good for a trade. I just think longer term, the Sharks are going to get this one. I know a lot of people like them. It's got a, weight loss component, erectile dysfunction, the hair loss. I just think the big sharks are gonna. It's tough in pharma to go against those big, or it might get bought out too. I don't know. It's just tough to go against those big sharks. You're swimming in deep waters. All right, I got to go to my favorite group, the oil and gas group. Just kidding here. Just acknowledging strength here. This is Vista Energy. This is an international exploration stock. Pulled back to its 5, popped 5% today. Yeah, I like it there above the 57.28. If we could take that out, make new highs, that looks really good. GLNG. This is one of these, natural gas pipeline transportation stocks, and definitely consolidating in a base here. Popped off the 5 today, but I like it above, making new highs. Blue skies, 41.55. And the last one is AESI. Yeah, just pull back to the 5 and pop today. 23.72 is an area of interest, and also it can make a new high above 24.34. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. But like Steve Jobs said, I have one more thing. And that is tonight we have earnings reports from some pretty important companies. Dow Jones Component, Salesforce. Now, Benioff was talking on, I don't know about, they missed on earnings, and but I guess they guided higher. So it's all about, forward looking. And earnings and sales from the prior quarter is just rear view mirror stuff. So they're looking through the windshield here. Obviously, somebody likes it after hours. We'll see if that can follow through tomorrow. This is a Dow Jones Component, one of the larger software names at 316 billion market cap. So if that thing gives, you know, a 6% gain tomorrow, it could be good for the software names again. So definitely something to watch. I'll be on that in pre-market, have more information about that in pre-market. And then we have Pure Storage, Charlie Giancarlo's company. Charlie was a understudy of John Chambers at Cisco Systems. My wife worked with those two. John's golfing at Cordoval these days, and he's definitely earned it, making a lot of people wealthy. But Charlie was his understudy, and definitely was talking about some AI hyperscaler. I did not get the information. I'll have it in the morning though. That's what's driving the stock higher, not the sales and earnings. It was they made an addition. I'll have, like I say, I'll have more in the morning, but obviously somebody likes it. It's up 26%. So congrats to Charlie and his TAM. That's not total addressable market. That's the hat that he wears on his dome. All right. Box. Down 2%. Spoil the fun, will you? Okay. I'll have more on that in the morning. I didn't see anything about that. Okta, I did. Okta had a pretty good report, and it's up 12%. So that's a cybersecurity name along with Salesforce, software name. So that bodes well for those two groups tomorrow morning. Like I said, I'll have more in the morning on this. And then Marvell reported after the bell, and it's up nearly 10%. This is a semiconductor fabulous name. I mean, it's not going to move NVIDIA and Qualcomm, but it's got an 83 billion market cap, and it's up, you know, nearly 10% after hours. So like I said, I'll have more on this in the morning. I think this report's certainly not going to hurt tomorrow. That's for sure. Market's in a really nice spot. Like I said, the Nasdaq can definitely get up to 6% and even more above its 50. Right now it's 4.7. I can see maybe a pullback for a day or two, but every time it pulls back, it gets bought. So this is definitely a, you know, buy the dip, sell the rip type market. But you still have to be in the right stocks. You still have to be a good stock picker. You have to be selective. You can't just buy any old name because you can get slaughtered. Some of the old winners have just sold off and they're not coming back. So we want those stocks that are, you know, trading above their moving averages, showing strength, institutional support coming in, stuff like, you know, AAPL, where it's just sticking out like a sore thumb. These big blue volume bars trading higher above the moving averages. See, this has been going on for a while. They've been buying this thing for a long time. They continue to buy it. It's not going to last forever, but we're going to ride that trend until it bends at the end. How about that? At mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. So you better not give up either. Thank you for watching.